It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Jen Cohen as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives in Yavapai County. And now, here's today's Countywide.
Welcome to Countywide. I'm Paul David. As always, it is great to have you in studio with us. Today we're sitting down with Emergency Management. We have a new coordinator, Ron Sauntman. Welcome to the studio.
Good morning, sir.
And Marcie Slay is back. Welcome
Hello.
back. You're the jack of all trades for Emergency Management. Marcie can do just about everything for Emergency Management. But if I need something from Emergency Management, Marcie's the one I usually call for that. To find Emergency Management on the Yavapai County website, go to yavapai.us and then go to the Public Works. It's another Public Works department. That's where you're going to find it there. So let's jump right into it. Any folks gone? Ron Sauntman is here, just in the nick of time. I mean, it's wildfire season. It's starting early this year, probably about a month early, as far as I could tell. Wouldn't you?
Seems that way.
Yeah,
That's
right.
correct.
With all the drought we've had all winter long, we've been talking about it since winter, since last fall. We've been talking about the fact it's so dry, and here it is. We had our first evacuation fire that occurred. That was up on the Coconino. But Winona wound up evacuated. Somebody burning weeds, got away, burned a house down, and then off to running, and 75 people evacuated from their homes. So, I mean, we've seen this every year. Last year was the Goodwin fire.
Yep.
That was thousands of people.
Yes.
Animals, livestock, pets, people, all kinds of stuff. So, obviously, they're here today to try to thwart those things from happening. We all have to be extremely careful with fire. Let's jump in. Who is Ron Sauntman? Because I was really glad to hear that you got the job. So tell everybody who you are.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm a native here to Yavapai County. I was born and raised here in the Verde Valley, born in Cottonwood, and grew up in the Camp Verde area and spent my years going to school here, graduated from Camp Verde High School.
You're a local fella.
Yes, sir.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Keep going. The story of Ron Sauntman. Continue.
Yeah. When once I graduated, I then decided that I felt I had a fit for the fire service. My dad was a firefighter, a volunteer in Camp Verde for several years, and decided that was a path I wanted to follow. And still had some family friends that were still a part of the organization, and they brought me in and kind of evolved from there. And over the course of 23 years that I was there, I progressed from being in the volunteer capacity all the way to becoming a company officer, and then retiring as a proud bee shifter for all my bee shift brothers out there.
Okay, all right.
And when towards the end, I kind of had the realization that I was going to be retiring at a relatively young age, being 41 years old at retirement. Dawned on me, oh no, what am I going to do for another 20-something years?
I could have said that. I wish I could have said that. But anyways, yeah, so, okay, you don't want to be sitting around all day long. So
Right. So I had a couple of really dear friends of mine, Mr. Ken Krebs, director at Yavapai College. He suggested maybe I look at emergency management as a fit for my future, and kind of delved into it a little bit and decided it was a good opportunity. So I went to school, finished my education when I was working in the office in 2015. And 2016 is when I graduated with my master's degree. And it was kind of perfect. I really found a niche that is what I love, and that's always kind of been a service mentality. That's my parents gave me that growing up, and and it's just kind of been a part of who I am pretty much my entire adult life. And so it was a natural fit to kind of move into this. And then working with Denny for, multiple years, three, totally. Technically, I started in 2013 during the Arnell Hill fire. They brought me in and I assisted in the logistics section to help with that incident. And prior to my retirement in 2015. So I'd kind of had some relationship, if you will, while I was there in those first couple of years. Then when I retired, they brought me in as the planner for the office, and really just enjoyed the work. I like knowing that what you do has a true impact on the community. It's not a job where you're just randomly doing the routine. Everything is very unique. It's very different. The entire emergency management philosophy is based on relationships, and to me, that's essential in what we do, and I'm fortunate enough to have a lot of relationships with folks, especially in the response community around here, with local fire, with law enforcement, all of those folks, and then obviously my peers that I work with. So really enjoy that.
You were a part of the Goodwin Fire last year, so
Yes,
you're firsthand right there. So I think I was telling Marcie last week, I was talking to her on the phone. We did the free slash drop-off program. I was getting a soundbite from Marcie. I was like, I'm so glad we didn't get somebody from out of state. It's somebody who knows Arizona. It's somebody who knows Yavapai County and knows the different people that you have to communicate with. Because maybe people don't realize it. Maybe I don't even realize just how many people are involved in this. But we're talking about all the different fire agencies.
Correct.
All the different cities and towns, their leadership.
Yep.
We've got all the law enforcement agencies. YCSO is in charge of all the evacuations, so you've got that going on too. You've got all these different volunteer groups you probably have to work with as well.
Absolutely.
It's got to be I can't picture the job. It truly has to be different every day. I mean, when do you have time to sleep? Seriously, I mean, Yavapai County is a huge county. Anybody who comes from out of state, for most part, the counties are really tiny. I was saying that some counties are as big as this building, but Yavapai County is massive. So it's got to be one of those things that just keeps you on your feet all the time, and especially jumping in. Now the 9th of April was your first day.
Yes,
this
sir.
is the 10th of April.
Correct.
But I guess you didn't wait for the 9th of April. You've already been kind of hit the ground running.
Yeah. When one of the other gentlemen that's been working, when I left, Mr. Ted Ralston had come in, and he was working in that capacity as the intern and planner. And he's moving on with his family. They're going to another location, so we needed to fill that position. So we immediately began the interview process to find a new intern, which we successfully did. And then we had some follow-up training with YCSO on that. So last week, Wednesday, Thursday, I was here doing that and working with those folks. And
all right.
yeah.
You're back in full swing.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. We've got a few minutes before we have to take our first break.
Sure.
How is Yavapai County standing right now? Because we have had kind of this layover of not being prepared. But Marcie, I mean, imagine you and Hugh.
All since January 1st, there hasn't been a slow moment. So we're constantly, and we've been working nonstop all season. Yeah.
Yavapai County, we've had, that was mowing some grass.
Yeah, I think
kicked up a rock and a spark, started a fire. We've had a fireworks fire. I don't know if that was on probably the Coconino. I'm just covering Coconino and Yavapai, so I'm thinking, okay, I think I've heard just about everything so far this year. We had a fireworks fire. We had that. We had a welder grinder cause a fire. We've had vehicle fires that have touched off fires. Yeah. I-17 corridor. I can't believe there's anything left to burn by Sunset Point in Black Canyon City, but apparently there's still stuff out there to burn.
Yeah, there's still a lot. Those weeds are really, really high, so we're constantly pushing that message. Don't pull in the grass, and check your chains. Pick them off the ground. Don't overload your vehicle. Some people don't think their chains are dragging, but then they don't realize the load that they're carrying, and it's weighing down their vehicle, and as they hit bumps, the chain hits the ground.
Yeah.
So that's one huge thing that keeps happening along I-17.
It's crazy.
We really need to watch that.
Yeah. I've even heard of shoed horses starting fires because the shoes create sparks as they go over rocks.
Over the rocks.
Yep. Unbelievable. I think a lot of people don't realize that these things could happen in Arizona, but it's very, very true. Okay, Yavapai Emergency Management is in studio today. Our new coordinator, Ron Sauntman and Marcie Slay in studio. The website is yavapai.us. Go to the Public Works Department. All kinds of information there about wildfire safety. Stick around. Countywide back in just a couple minutes.
It appears these hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Being prepared is a part of who you are.
but it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
Welcome back to Countywide. Marcie Slay and Ron Sauntman from the Yavapai County Emergency Management Team in studio today. We wanted to hit a few things that we have been hitting, but we're going to hit them some more. And I think one of the things that we may discuss today is how do we get this message down to the Phoenix area?
Yeah.
Ready, Set, Go is statewide.
Right.
It's like the new, it's our, like One Less Spark, we borrowed that from California, correct? A couple of years back, a few years back. Yeah. Time flies for me anymore. But Ready, Set, Go is something that Arizona came up with, and that's the one. Is it? Well,
it originally came from the. It came from the Fire Chiefs Association. Okay. Is where it originally came in 2011. Oh. And then we've kind of adopted it for the state, and now the state is taking it and expanding on it, and then we're adding things to the Ready side about preparedness and defensible space. But then the sheriff's office is using it as their messaging system with their Code Red.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So it's been around for a while, but we've adopted it this year. And the whole idea is to get everybody thinking about Ready, Set, Go. And it kind of incorporates, does it really incorporate One Less Spark?
It can. Yeah. It doesn't take it over. One Less Spark is its own program. So it's in coordination with it. But
Ready, Set, Go does include the defensible space part, and that's the Ready part. So maybe we should break it down for everybody. What's the Ready part of Ready, Set, Go? Who wants to take it?
Well, the Ready side is exactly that, is prepare. Get everything ready. So you want to check your property and make sure that's ready to go. Start working on a communication plan with your family. Make sure your kids are prepared. So if you're not around, they know what to do. Anybody that you have that can't evacuate on their own, you need to have a plan in place for them. So Ready is exactly that. Get ready. Start planning. Start thinking of what you need and what you need to pack. And then the next step is set. And that's being alert of what's around you, what can happen, and what do you do if things start happening. Okay. And the last part is go, and that is evacuate. When you're told to go, go. Don't hesitate. Okay. And so we're really pushing the Ready because, you know, you're not going to be let back in most likely. You're gonna, when you're told to go, you go. It's for your safety. It's life-threatening at that point.
It could be days.
And yeah.
Correct.
It could be several days. I think when the Goodwin fire hit last year, people were out of their houses for how long, Marcie? Was it a week?
At least a week.
At least a week. I mean, think about that. Think about being at home and all of a sudden Code Red goes off. You get the message on your phone or email or however you may have it set up to come to you. And now you have to leave. And you could be gone for a week's time.
Right.
Or more even. I mean, it's possible, right? It is possible.
It is possible, yeah. And you just want to take what you really, really need. What's really important to you. Make sure you've got your prescriptions set aside. Make sure you've got extra supplies for babies or for pets. Have all of that in place. A lot of things that keep happening is large animals is a big issue right now, especially with Goodwin. It brought light to that.
And you're talking livestock now too, because I mean there was a lot of livestock during the Goodwin fire, just like there was during the Yarnell one too. There was a lot of livestock that started showing up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what are we telling people with the livestock?
Well, they need to have a plan. They need to, if they don't have a way to transport them, they need to have a mechanism to transport them, to have friends that help with transporting them. It's all going to be a little bit different based on what happens and where the incident takes place. Right. But just thinking about it ahead of time and making sure you're planning for it. And
I guess last year it worked out pretty well, but it took a lot of people volunteering and coming in with horse trailers and cattle trailers and things like that in order to do it. So maybe we could alleviate some of that bit of chaos that was going on.
And that's all part of the preparedness that she's speaking of in the ready portion, right? Having those arrangements made ahead of time. there's no hard and fast rule on how it's going to go because every incident is different. We have to be adaptable, be moldable to the scenario. So having a plan, having those arrangements made ahead of time, having the resources prepared, and being able to move at a moment's notice is essential.
We've talked about this before, too, and Al Cornell's come in from Yavapai County Search and Rescue as well, and he always talks about it as when you're prepared, when things happen, it's not quite this chaos going off in your head. You're like, okay, this is happening. I know what to do to deal with this situation. That's that's what the ready is all about. Right. It's not to worry people, but it's just to make everyone prepared, just in case it does happen. What if?
Right. And that ready side, on the defensible space side, we have that free slash program going. And that's a perfect time to get your property. Sure.
Because I got that right here.
Yeah,
it's been in our news for a few days now.
Yeah.
But there is a free slash drop-off program going on. It goes on through June 1st. It's available at all the Yavapai County transfer stations. The transfer stations are in Black Canyon City, Camp Verde, Congress, Mayor, Paulton, Seligman, and Skull Valley through June 1st. And they want brush, branches, grass, leaves, yard trimmings, anything that's laying around that you didn't get to last fall. Get it out of your yard, because that's what the fire is going to hit, and then just run right to the side of your house. You want to get all that stuff out of there, get your rain gutters cleared out. You want branches at least 4 feet up off the ground, so you don't have the ladder fields if the fire does get in there. It's not going to climb up that way. It'll just crawl past it and keep on going.
Anything underneath your decks, make sure under the deck is cleared. On top of the deck, if you've got stacks of wood, keep that away from your propane tanks, away from your homes. Anything that's flammable, move it away at least 10 feet away from buildings and anything that you don't want to catch fire.
Get it out of there.
Yeah, I mean, the gutters is a really good point. Is, you know, if there is something in the area and there's embers going through the air, it can easily catch into those gutters and anything on your decks and porches, and just clear that stuff up.
Yeah. We talk about the spark, one last spark, and I don't think people think of a spark up in the air, but I know back when the slide fire happened, I was getting quarter-size ash dropping in my yard.
Absolutely.
So, you know, that stuff does happen, and that fire was, I don't know, 4 or 5 miles away. So it was a distance away. Also, if you do the free slash drop-off program, which you're encouraged to do to create that defensible space around your property, they ask that the items are not bagged. Keep them out of a bag, so back of a pickup truck, a trailer, something like that, but you got to take them in there so you can just dump them, and I think eventually we probably burn all of that.
Well, a lot of it can be chipped. Mulched. Whatever we can, whatever we can chip. Mulched. We have a grinder, so.
Okay, all right. Should we talk about the peas? We talk about the peas. The peas kind of change each year.
They seem to change.
Like I kind of put Marcie on the spot every year, but we've got a list. I've got my list. You got your list. So we want to go through them.
Go for it.
People and pets.
Yep.
Grab your family, grab your animals. I like the fact that you brought up, to make sure the kids know the plan.
Yeah.
Because so many times it is now where the kids are at home first, and what if there's a fire happening and they get that call from YCSO and it's the kids saying, oh, we're supposed to evacuate.
Right.
Well, now you got your kids at home, and do they know where they're supposed to go and what they're supposed to do? Because you might not be able to go in there to get them.
Exactly.
Right. They need to know where to leave to, whose house are they going to go to, where's your meeting point outside your community, how are you going to get in touch with each other? Do they have a cell phone? If they don't, who can they go to use a phone? So you need to think of those things ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so people and pets. Grab your pets. And with the pets, grab, their favorite toys, grab their food.
Food, water.
Water, any medications the pets may take. And then what's really nice in Yavapai County, we've got this group called the Animal Disaster Services. I got to get her back in this year and do a little talk on that again. But they're always set up right next door to Red Cross. So if you're in Red Cross shelter, your dogs are in the Yavapai Animal Disaster Shelter, and you can always see them over there. So that's always a nice thing. Papers, important papers.
Yep.
Phone numbers and important documents. That's the second one.
Yep. And one thing is to think about the documents on your computers. So if you have electronic files and you're not keeping paper copies anymore, make sure you grab your hard drive or your thumb drive and take that with you for important papers.
We got to take a break.
All right.
We're actually late. I got to take another break. Okay, so we're talking Yavapai Emergency Management today with new coordinator Ron Sauntman. Marcie Slay also in studio today. Stick around, Countywide, back in just a couple minutes.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
What to expect when you're expecting.
Like here?
A teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to teen-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys. Preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
Ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Ah, Smokey! Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to Countywide. Just a few minutes left of the program. We want to make sure we get through all these P's for you. So we talked people and pets, papers, phone numbers, important documents. We've got those going. I've got a little firebox at home in a closet. I can just reach down, grab that out the door I go, and boom, that's my stuff. And then right next to it is my cat carrier. We shove both of them in there, and I don't care if you don't like each other too much. That's where you're going. Then we got prescriptions, vitamins, and eyeglasses. So anything that's important to you that you got to take every day, a couple times a day maybe, have that stuff with you.
That's correct.
Pictures and irreplaceable memorabilia.
Yep.
Well, that hutch is 150 years old. Better have it in a trailer all summer long.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
No, but you know the important pictures and stuff. The mementos.
The things you can't replace.
Yeah, things grandma left you, stuff like that. You want to make sure you have those available so you're not running around the house, because sometimes you could only have just a few minutes.
Possibly, it could be a few minutes.
And you need to go. And we've seen it where people were driving away from fires and the fire's actually overtaken their vehicle.
Yeah.
It's moving that fast. So
that's where it comes back to the ready portion.
The ready
Doing
portion.
the stuff ahead of time.
Yeah.
And signing up for Code Red with the sheriff's office.
Yep.
If you don't want that knock at the door 1 minute before you're told to leave, sign up for Code Red, and hopefully there'll be more than a minute before you're notified.
Exactly.
And things can move quickly, but a best case scenario would be that you're given some time before you're told to leave. But when you're told to leave, you need to go.
Yeah. Refresh yourself every year around this time of year. Okay, where are these things? So that when you get that call, you get that knock on the door, you can just jump through the house and grab that stuff.
Yep.
Maybe assign jobs to different people in the house too. Make them do it. Your personal computer. I mean, that's a real easy one to grab. Just pull everything out of the back of it, pick it up, walk out the door with it. Boom. You've got everything you need on there. You don't need the monitor. You don't need the mouse. You don't need the keyboard. As long as you've got that, you've got everything.
Correct.
Everything. And then plastic, which that was a different one from last year.
Yeah, that is a different one.
Credit cards, ATM cards, and some cash.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be out for a while, you've got all that stuff going for you. All right, how'd we do? We got a minute left.
I think
anything else?
We've covered quite a bit, but it's all about preparedness, being ready.
Being ready.
Being ready. Wildfires are coming. They're not going to go away. Just be ready.
Yeah, our goal is to try to make them less severe too, because our wildfire seasons are getting worse and worse. I think last year was it $2.7 or $3.7 billion fighting wildfires last year, the most expensive it has ever been.
Yep.
So, all right, Ron, it was great meeting you.
Great meeting you, sir.
If you need
Thank
something,
you.
let me know, or just tell Marcie and she'll let me know. But that was very well done. Okay, so that is today's Countywide. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and we'll talk to you again next time.